Hey, True Beauty. You're the first one in, maybe, I guess. Just waiting for a few more people to come on through. I want to schedule these lives, but I'm having an issue with committing myself to a schedule for these things. But I know it'd be easier on you guys for me to have a schedule, so I'll see what I can do. I'm just waiting to see if some more people will come on in. I hope everybody's Monday is off to a good start. Excited about the week. Recommitted yourself to excellence and greatness and all of those things. Hey, Sheila. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming on through. I just want to wait another minute or so before I start. Metaphysical chemist, you say privilege. I've been going through hell since birth due to a narcissist idiot for a mom. No privilege here. All right. So this morning I put a post up on my wall on Facebook entitled Lightskin Privilege Houseway. And I ran down my thoughts really about what I thought about this thing called light skin privilege. And to me, and in my work and in who I talk to, I don't see I don't see this privilege that some of us think that light skinned women have. Now, I see in media, we all see what media does and who they put. Thanks, make black men great again. I appreciate it. But I see what's in media, right? Who they put out front, who are sex symbols for us to revere, for us to want to be like, who's touted as the cream of our crop, right? And we all know that they put fair skin, sometimes ambiguous looking women. You don't know what they're mixed with something or whatever. You hardly ever see what you would, I guess, call Nubian featured woman, a woman that clearly looks black, like sort of like Michelle Obama type or whatever. You hardly ever see her put up as a woman that every black woman wants to be like. And this we understand. And for some reason, we equate what we're being told is beautiful or the epitome of beauty for us. We're being told that woman has privilege because everybody wants her. Everybody wants that type. And like I said on the live, was it yesterday or the day before? We ran down the list of beautiful women, beautiful actresses and people in the media who got used, abused, cheated on, home wrecked, all that kind of stuff from men. And these were the symbols that we are told that we need to strive to be, or that we should strive to be. And they didn't experience this light skin privilege that we're talking about, that we're assuming that light skinned women have. Listen to me. In my business of coaching women, I get the privilege of talking to them without the pretense without the show, without the, the whole ego bit, the whole ego thing. And a lot of it is a deep crying, cleansing session going on when they reveal what they had to go through in their lives. And this is all shades and all skin tones. I have yet to see a differentiation between what a light-skinned woman goes through in her life and what a dark-skinned woman goes through in her life. Both have issues with how they look. Both, from time to time, have eating disorders, relationship problems. Light-skinned women are single mothers, just like dark-skinned women. Health issues, the whole thing. I'm like, where's the privilege that some people think you have? I know you don't have it. I know you don't have it. I know you're suffering just like I am, but on the outside, what is propagandized to us is something totally different. But the reality is, it's the same hurt and pain that everybody's going through. It's the same hopes and wishes and dreams that all of us are going through. No woman, I don't care what shade of skin, what skin tone she is, as far as Black women are concerned, we're all in this thing together. But unfortunately, some of us, when I say this, I am accused of being dismissive, delusional, not being honest, dismissing our plight, diminishing our voice and our reality and our experience and all of that stuff. And I'm asking you, if what you feel about light-skinned privilege is true, that light-skinned women do have privilege, then what? Then what? Where do you go from there? Talk to me about where do you go from there? Tell me what are the steps to, I guess, recovery from that, from reducing whatever wrong has been happening in your life, from believing that. What I'm saying is we can acknowledge, listen, prejudice and bias is everywhere. There's people that are prejudiced against fat people. There are people that are prejudiced against poor people. There are people that are prejudiced against women with short hair and no ass. The women who have fat asses laugh at women who have no ass. Is this not true? That's everywhere. That's everywhere and in all things. Can we stop the fucking act already? That's what I would like. Just cut it out. Cut it out. Where do we go from here? My stance is this. I know that we all need healing. And I know the so-called privilege that a light-skinned woman may have is not something that she issues out to herself. She has her hand out like this. So she doesn't have any power over me. If she has privilege, it was given to her. So how does she have power over me when she's waiting for someone to accept her too? Which is the lot in every woman's life. Every woman wants to feel beautiful. Every woman's concerned about youthfulness and attractiveness and finding love, light or dark. All of us have that concern, finding love, getting commitment. I don't see any light-skinned women not being abused. I don't see any light-skinned women not having to go to work a 9-to-5 and pay her taxes and take care of her children just like any other woman. I don't see a light-skinned woman having access to better health care than I do because she's light-skinned. Where is the privilege at? And when I say, which is what I believe, is that a lot of this has to do with what man is interested in fucking you. They say, you're diminishing it. You're reducing it to that. It has nothing to do with that. This has to do with all these studies that they claim, all these studies out here that dark-skinned women are have higher unemployment rates than light skin. And I'm like, I don't know where they're getting all this stuff from, but they, they claim that, they got receipts on all of that. So if that's the case, is a light-skinned woman to blame for me not being employed by a company that she doesn't own? It's the same argument as these MGTOW people, these MGTOW men that blame women for oppressing them or unfair treatment, child support issues and all that stuff, like we make legislation. They have all these campaigns against, supporting each other for pumping and dumping in women, not marrying them, not taking responsibility, as if we're to blame for the law that we're following too. We blame light-skinned women for being more employable, if that is the case, which I don't believe. Light-skinned women are to blame for that? I wish we would stop. I wish we would stop this, because we got to heal some sort of way. We have to heal. And I am well aware of the biases going on. I'm not saying that they don't exist. What I'm saying is a light-skinned woman with a bias against me has no power over me. She doesn't. It's an emotional thing. She has a feeling about me. That's what she has, a feeling about me. She doesn't have power and privilege over me. She's doing the same thing, worried about the same thing as I am. She's going to work for somebody. She cashes her check. She's not an island unto herself. Privilege to me is someone who issues it out, not someone who asks for it. And light-skinned women are asking for it just like everybody else. She's asking for acceptance just like all of us. We are all in the same boat at the end of the day. This is the message that I want to get across, that we really all in the same boat. Not to deny our struggle. I'm not denying that prejudice and colorism doesn't exist in our communities. It does. I talk about it all the time. It does. But I'm saying the people that perpetuate this have an agenda to divide us. And we're not angry at who we need to be angry with. We're not putting any energy to who's to blame for us hating one another. Nikisha said, I hear the complaining about colorism a lot from African and Caribbeans. Yeah, colorism is everywhere. It is everywhere. And, my thing is, how do you empower yourself? If you accept it as a fact, then what is the next step in your life? Do you play victim for the rest of your life? Do you play into that? Do you accept it to play that role? Or do you accept it to try to change someone's mind? Like, what do you do after you acknowledge that you have been oppressed? Who do we go to right that wrong? Who do we go to right that wrong? Because we can state all of these things that happen. We can run a whole list. And the most that you will get from someone who perpetuates and who feels that they're getting something out of oppressing you, the most you'll get is their pity, but you won't get their remorse. Not if they're benefiting from it. So who are we talking to here? We're talking to people who you say have privilege, and we want them to stop because somehow they'll feel bad about having this privilege. Who do you know, white all the way down, that actually obtains an assets on holding you down? Where's the guilt coming from? If I'm benefiting from oppressing you, why would I feel guilty about it? Do we want their guilt, and therefore somehow they'll stop enabling this oppression of dark-skinned women through guilt, or through the conversation, we'll be able to reform them? Mm-mm. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Nikisha, you said Chrissy's parents are from the Caribbean. So are mine. I know all about that. I'm from the Caribbean too. I understand colorism outside of the United States, and you know, the whole darkies versus the Dogla, which is the Indian and black mix, and you know, the aquiline features as opposed to the Africanoid features and stuff like that. I grew up around all of that. I understand all of that. And my thing is, do I feed into that? Do I acknowledge that you have privilege, that you are better than me? Absolutely not. I know the truth. I know the truth. True Beauty says, I agree that light-skinned women are not to blame for colorism because they can't help being light, but some light-skinned women think they are better than dark-skinned women too. Yeah, yeah. And you know, that is the case all around the board. And you feel you are better than some people too. If you have a little money, you feel better than people who don't have as much money as you. You feel better than other women who are not as attractive as you. We feel better than other people. Everybody feels better when they're the best in the room. When they're the best ones in the room. We need to cut it out. We need to cut it out. Everybody wants to feel like they're a star. And you can affirm yourself. You can affirm yourself. I've been around, listen, as I said before, I was a hairstylist for over 20 some odd years, right? I had my own salon. I didn't work for anybody. I had my own shit. And there were times when clients would come in, first time people would come in to get their hair done. And I would be in the first station, and I have, you know, other stylists working for me, other, you know, light skin and whatever. And they would never, even though I was right there by the door, they would always pass me and go over to the lighter skinned girl and ask about services, like if they assumed that she owned the salon instead of me. This happened to me all of the time. And I would just laugh and smile because when the stylist goes, oh, you have to talk to her. You have to talk to Salkis. And they turn around and go, oh, you own the place. You know, that kind of like, oh, I didn't know, you know, that kind of thing. That happened to me all the time. And the service was rendered. And during the service, you know, they would ask questions about me, try to, you know, figure me out, size me up. This is what people do. And if the service took long enough, I would find out all about them and all of their weaknesses, all of their trauma, all of their hurt, all of their pain. And then by the end of the service, we're hugging each other and we have an understanding about each other and a mutual respect for one another because we were assuming things about each other. She assumed things about me and my value and my intellect, and I knew it. And I assumed that, you know, she thought she was all of that, and come to find out she's in just as much trauma-filled, drama-filled pain in her life as any other woman around. Just because she's pretty and has nice hair meant shit. It didn't mean anything. And this happened for years. For years, I serviced judges and doctors and lawyers and homemakers and women getting checks, prostitutes, all of that. Everybody up and down, middle, side, whatever. And the ones that you think have self-esteem, shaky, fragile, popping pills, you don't know no one's story. You can't judge people face value. That's what I learned in my life. You cannot judge people for face value. I don't care how attractive you think a woman looks, how, you know, light, long hair, whatever, perfect body. How many women are suicidal that are pretty? You think a pretty face solves all? That it solves all the problems? We assume shit. We assume shit. I don't look at any light-skinned woman as assuming that she has privilege over me. I used to. When I had self-esteem issues and a chip on my shoulder and something to prove because I was defensive because of all the mistreatment that I got over the years, I had a chip on my shoulder and I acted that way. But after taking the time to really get to know people and understanding that, okay, this is a ruse, this is a farce, this is fugazi, this is not really real. I decided, you know what? Let me arrest what I think she is and maybe find out. Maybe I'll have enough time to find out what her story is. And it's always something other than what they appear to be. The story is always different than what a woman appears to be. We put a lot of energy into how we look because people respond in the world. The people respond to you favorably based on how you look. So I understand that. I was in the beauty business. It was about the look. It was about the look. And every type of woman, no matter how much money she made, no matter how pretty she looked, had a little nervousness, a little unsureness about herself, a little insecurity. All of them, no matter if she was a doctor or a welfare mother, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. All this status and status shit, it's all an illusion. Everybody's fugazi out here pretending to feel better about themselves than they really do. Everyone has a story, a dark side to themselves, demons that they're fighting, emotional things that have happened to them that they're trying to cover up with the looking good. They're trying their best to cover up. And light-skinned women are included in that. Light-skinned women are included in that. So what I'm saying is that there is no privilege. There's assumptions. There's no privilege. There's just assumptions. To me, that's what it is. That's what it is. Ladybug says, true, I was treated like shit as a child and ended up in a lot of school fights, most of the time 2 or 3. Me trying to jump me over my skin. I'm in my 40s, never felt pretty, still don't. Really, Ladybug? Wow. You know, and a lot of light-skinned women chimed in on the post and thanked me for actually keeping it real and saying what they felt ostracized or felt like they shouldn't say because, you know, I guess they felt guilty that they were diminishing. It's always read as they would be diminishing the experiences of dark-skinned women. So they thank me for putting it out there. And listen, I understand it. And they shared stories about being bullied and threatened and beat and abused and all that stuff too. It happens all around the board. Like I said, I'm not diminishing our story. Listen, look at me. Look at what's going on here. I've been rotating around this earth a long time, and I have a ton of stories. I have a ton of dark-skinned, ugly stories. A whole encyclopedia full of that. But I came to understand that each one of us are suffering in a different, it just looks different. The packaging is different, but we're all suffering. We're all going through pain. All of us. And it's unfortunate that, you know, dark-skinned women, we have gotten caught in, you know, proving a point and getting our point across because it's justifiable for us to talk about our hurts and our traumas and our pains. And I do not refute that. My thing is, there's nowhere to go after that. If I think that you as a light-skinned woman are better than me, because that's really what you want me to acknowledge, that light skin is better than me. If I'm acknowledging that you have privilege, I'm acknowledging that you have it better than me, and I know that you don't. So I can't co-sign on that campaign. Everyone is justified to say what they want to say, and I'm just as qualified as any dark-skinned woman to reiterate the stories out here. Probably more qualified than a lot of them. And yet I'm the only one saying, nope. I'm the only one that's saying, listen, it's a joke. There really is none. There really is none. Just because a man wants to fuck her over you doesn't mean that she's more valuable than you. Because a lot of times, unbeknownst to you, you've dodged a bullet. He went to abuse her. He didn't think you were attractive enough to abuse, and he decided to go and abuse her. You think light-skinned women are not exploited for how they look? All day long, they're exploited for how they look. Some of us as dark-skinned women are not attractive enough to be exploited, and that's not always a bad thing. That ain't never a bad thing. We are all in the same boat. We are all in the same boat. And self-love is the best love. Having understanding and compassion and patience are virtues, because then you get to see the forest through the trees. Then you really get to observe what things are, not what they're propagated to you as, but what they actually are. And more times than not, everybody out here has a sob story, have trauma-filled stories and tales of abuse, light, dark, green, red. All. I could rock with you if every light-skinned woman I met was loved and respected, her kids were cared for, she lived an opulent life, never cheated on, preserved her looks, healthy. I could rock with the light-skin privilege if that was the case, but it's not. It's not. So we have to stop this. When boredom sets in, says we are one, we cry over the same babies. Yes, we do. The world hates melanin, but we must love each other and not be hoodwinked. I mean, that's the point. That's the point. You know, there is nothing I can do if someone doesn't find me attractive. I can't beseech you to look at my value. I can't buy your love. There's absolutely nothing I can do. And there's nothing I want to do. There's nothing I can do, and there's nothing I want to do about that. So my thing is, if all that's going to result from me, you know, expressing my sob story is your pity, I'll keep it in here. I'll keep it in here, or I'll talk to somebody else who can help me work some stuff out. But I'm not going to fuel the idea that any woman is better than me. I'm so freaking fabulous, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Dusty cowboy hat and all. I don't have to wear heels or Spanx or a bodycon dress to turn nobody's head out here. I don't have to do much. I don't have to do much because I'm standing in my square. I'm just doing me. I'm comfortable with myself. That's why. That's why we have to get comfortable with ourselves. And we have to embody that. And when you're talking to people, they have to see that you're comfortable with yourself, because people will try to intimidate you. Even if they like you, they try to intimidate you just to test to see how strong you are. This is the diabolicalness of human nature and people in general. In general. But what do I say? You are alone. You are alone. I understand that I'm standing alone here. And it is nothing else and nobody else I can be but me. And I love that. I love that as a fact. I used to hate that fact, but now I love that as a fact. Who could be me? There is no one else out here like me. You know how special that makes me? Do you know how special that makes you? When you divorce yourself from this cookie cutter template of how a woman is supposed to look, act, be. When you divorce yourself from that and walk in your own lane, do you know what kind of power you are walking with? Metaphysical said the majority of Black women are narcissists. Why? They try so hard to be who they are not and develop a fake identity, which results in competition. Narcissism is a dangerous mental illness. Hey, Miss P. Good morning. Thank you. Listen, it's not only Black women that are narcissistic. Everybody you see out here is, including white people that you think have it so great, including the white people that you think have it so much better than you, who you think are so smarter than you, so much more privileged than you. Everybody's walking around here wanting acceptance, validation, love. Everybody. Lustful Life said there's going to be a competition, period. So what? If you can't compete or don't want to, sit down somewhere. I mean, that's it. That is it. But my whole thing is, what can you control at the end of the day? Because none of these women on these platforms are picketing outside of these employment organizations that they claim are not hiring dark-skinned women. I don't see any campaigns going on for civil rights, because this would be a civil rights issue too. No, nobody's stating all that. For the most part, you go on these platforms, some of them, and it's, what guy likes you. That's predominantly what it is. Who didn't like you as a child, who you couldn't date, who's dating who and doesn't think you're pretty. It's about who doesn't think you're pretty. But they always say, no, it's more than that, and it's more than that. It's not fucking more than that. It's really not. But when you go direct, when you just go for the jugular, when you go hit it like that, then they say, well, you're simplifying it. Because it is simple. I'm simplifying it because it's simple. It is. And unless you're taking out, creating a position where you're going to change laws, or you're going to call out these corporations or the penal system or whatever for jailing more dark-skinned women than light-skinned women, because I've heard that too, then what are we doing? What are we doing? What do you have power over? What do you have power over? Nikisha said they never try to change the system. No, it's not about changing the system. It's about complaining. It's about the conversation. Didn't I tell you that before? It's about having the conversation. And then maybe somebody go, well, I never thought I did that, and I'm sorry. Which, what value is a sorry? I don't even know. Sorry is not valuable to me. If you hurt me and then say sorry after, it's like, I don't know, like rubbing shit on my face or something. I like, what do I do with that? Nothing. I can't do anything with a sorry. I don't need anybody's apology. I don't need anybody's pity. I don't need any of that. Hey, KK. You finally caught me live. MZ says, I'm glad different shades and races of men always come at me. Hey, it's a good thing. It's a grand thing to be wanted. It's a grand thing to be wanted. But when you are insecure and people sniff that out in you, it's just an opportunity for them to get what it is they want from you. And this is human nature. This is what human beings do now. And we can contemplate the right and wrong of it all, you know, philosophize over it all, over a latte, and I don't know, read another book about it. And then what? And then what? You have to walk in your truth. You have to walk like you matter. You have to talk like you matter. You have to be unintimidated by anybody. If you are in the presence of other women who are more attractive than you, you still got to stand your ground, because it'll happen. Nobody on this live is the most beautiful woman in the world. I've never met the most beautiful woman in the world. I've met beautiful women and then more beautiful women, and then other beautiful women and that were more beautiful than her, depending on her own. But you don't become no audience or decide you're going to be an audience for that. And by audience, I mean feeling like you got to defend yourself. Because if you feel like you have to defend yourself, you are now the audience watching her show and acknowledging and validating her existence. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You can stretch your stuff. You know, I'm in the grocery stores. Y'all know I like Whole Foods. Whole Foods is expensive as hell, but call me stupid, I love Whole Foods. And you find, you know, chicks will come in there. I'm in Cali. So, you know, long weave, you know, Hollywood looking chick. And I'll come in there and you know, she's looking, you know, looking at my boots, you know, the whole do that, and I smile and I keep it moving. And I'll see from the corner of my eye, she's still looking at me, sizing me up. And she looks like she's disappointed that I didn't stop and revel in her beauty. I don't give nobody that. If you want to be fabulous, you're going to be fabulous in your own head. I'm not going to be an audience for that. You're not going to intimidate me. You're not going to intimidate me, because when I walk into a room, I expect to turn heads too. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel, and that's how I roll. Because I know it's me. I know all of this is me and no one else's. It's all mine, and I can do whatever the fuck I want to with it. And that's the attitude you got to take. Miss P said, don't feed into that sickness of light-skin privilege. It is a sickness. It is a sickness. Colorism is a sickness. Why am I going to be jealous of you're sick and I'm jealous of you? I know you got mental issues and I'm jealous of you. How, Sway? No. If anything, I'm like, I feel bad for you, because you're a pawn in the game and you don't even know it. You're a pawn in the game and you don't even know. Someone says the oppressor manifests itself in our mistreatment of one another. Of course, we continue the job of our oppressors. That's what we do. We continue where they left off. We carry it home. We carry it into home and social situations, in our bedrooms and all of those things. We carry it everywhere. Lust for Life said colorism has been around much longer than colonization. And everybody knows the history of it now. Everybody knows the whole history behind the division of based on color, but it's feelings. It feels good to be better than someone else, and being better than the lowest on the totem pole feels like a win, because they say that we as dark-skinned women are the lowest on the totem pole. That's what they say. Well, I don't give a shit about that. I could care less about that, because you know who we're trying to impress? We're trying to impress people who who do all kind of debauchery out here, who are killing people. We're trying to impress people who commit genocide, who are pedophiles, who murder people for the sake of the bottom line, who don't give people a living wage. No fairness. And we're trying to impress who? The establishment? We want to be good niggers for them? You want to be beautiful so he will want to fuck you? I could care less. I could care less about that. That's not a win. That's not a win. How many of us on this live have been abused by men, light and dark? Light and dark. Men walked away dark. You working your fingers to the bone trying to pay your mortgage or your rent or your car note or whatever with no assistance. Light and dark. Tell me where the fucking privilege is. I want to know where it is. The privilege is you think you look better than me? That's a privilege? Fuck out of here. The fuck out of here with that. That's in your mind. You've decided that. And someone boosted your head up and made you think that you were better than me. That's all. That's all. Olafun said, my mom was huge, Salkis, and to me, she was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. So when I see dark sisters, I stop in awe of their beauty. Hey, we are all beautiful. We are all beautiful. Don't laugh at me, Miss P. We're all beautiful. No one is better than anyone else. You guys have to know this. No one else is going to say this because they're getting coins to make you feel insecure. They're getting coins to perpetuate this insecurity and to keep that narrative going. Because if you feel insecure, you're going to look for a solution somewhere, and hopefully you're coming to the people that are perpetuating the insecurity for the solution. That's how this diabolical cycle keeps on going. But no one can be you. No one can be you, so there is no competition. If no one else can be you, then there is no competition. If you can't be anyone else, then why are you worried about it? You can't be anybody else but yourself. So cut the cord. Cut the cord of worry and just be the best you. Be the best you. Lust for Life said, what can black males offer light-skinned women or any other color of woman outside of a baby? I'll wait. Uh-oh. Well, that was a low blow, Lust for Life. I think black men can offer what any other man incentivized to care for you can. You're saying they only can offer babies? Oh, that's kind of hurtful to say. You said, I don't use my skin to show off. This is how I was born. Nor do I want some dust buckets putting me on play school pedestal. Well, this is what they do. This is what men do. Red bone this, light skin pretty that, you know, soft features, that kind of thing. Isn't that what they say? They call us the dark skinned women. We look like men. We're very masculine. We look like men. We're very, very abrasive. This is what's perpetuated over and over and over again. And but there's no win for any of us, because he's telling you that you're red bone and fine because he wants your vagina, and he'll tell me that I'm chocolate and fine because he wants my vagina too. So men will say whatever they need to say to get it. Adamo says, can I be honest? Sometimes we walk around with a self-defense mechanism, projecting our insecurities on the wrong person. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. That's our biggest problem. And why are we projecting why do we have insecurities in the first place? Why do any of you feel insecure about anything about yourself? Because some motherfucker out here, whether it be your mother, a cousin, your brother, a lover, or somebody told you that you weren't shit. And you believed it. You believed it. And that started the cycle of wanting and needing the validation, needing the love, because somebody you respected, cared for, admired, needed for your livelihood told you that your forehead was too big, or I don't know, your ass was too flat, or you're funny shaped, or you're stupid, or something like that, and you walk through life believing that. You don't have insecurities because you feel insecure about yourself. Insecurity is always fueled by an outside force. Always. It's always based on something outside of yourself telling you that you're not enough. Always. Maria said men are spending money on light-skinned women more readily than dark ones, meaning they do value them more. A man will value you based on how you value yourself. So him spending, because none of us are virgins on this live. Every one of you has had dick inside of your vagina. So somebody thought enough of you to at least fuck you and have a relationship. So when there's a relationship going on there, it is up to us to decide what we are worth and what is the purpose of this relationship for. We have to decide that. I said before, a man can only offer you what he wants to give you, not what you're worth, but what he wants to give you. And if it's not in line with what you think you're worth, you're supposed to walk away from that. But a lot of you say, I'm just going to give it a chance. I know right now it's a little iffy, but I'll give it time and he'll fall in love with me. He'll eventually see my value and fall in love with me and everything will be all right. So I'm not going to jump the gun and listen to my gut. I'm just going to give him time to come around because I know my love is so strong and he might be afraid of commitment and all this other bullshit excuses that we give them. When you are about your bottom line, anybody that comes into your space with an offer needs to know it, like straight away. Like straight away. Who can bullshit you if you have your bottom line? If you're not making a move, if you're not going on hope and faith, but actual actions, that reduces bullshit to the barest minimum possible. To the barest minimum possible. I'm not concerned with what men value. When you're in the presence of me, it's something you want from me. And you're not going to get anything from me unless I'm getting what I need from you. That's it. That's it. All men will try you, though. All men will try to get it for free. So this value thing, I don't believe it, because all men will try to get it for free. And if you don't have boundaries and if you don't have self-respect, then there it is. Maria said, and a dark-skinned woman will walk away more times than a light one because he will be more reluctant to spend it on her. You can walk, and so will he, because you aren't pretty enough for his standards. So then what do you do there, Mary? Do you beseech him to consider your value? What do you do? Because you're stating what you think light-skinned women experience as opposed to dark-skinned women, which is that men assume that they're more valuable than us. So they're getting more offers than us. But how would you conduct your dating practices to ensure that your interests are protected, to ensure that you are not corrupted, mistreated, mishandled by men? There's nothing you could do about what a man is interested, if he's interested in her and her over there, has nothing to do with you. What will you do? Adama says, my experience, black men are super coons in 2018 and not showing love to light or dark, only Asian, Latina, white, anything non-black, my experience. Lord have mercy. So what are we going to do, ladies? What are we going to do? Because a lot of women are thinking that way, that black men just in general don't like any of us. They don't like black women, period. What do we do there? Lust for Life said, keep walking. Maria said, I'm speaking what everyone can see. It's not your opinion. Okay. All right. If you're speaking what everyone can see, it's something that you're also thinking about too, I'm sure. And you got to be careful. Sometimes we project what we feel. We project what we don't even agree with sometimes. You know that, right? You don't have to agree with something to project it. If it's on your mind, if it's a worry is not something you agree with, but you will project it. You sure will. Scoring says, why are you letting this sickness bother you? Have you heard nothing from this video? I mean, it's okay. My main thing with this video is that we can't look for pity. We can't look for understanding. And we also can't assume that other people who seem to be the perpetrators of inflicting injustice and prejudice are in a better space than we are. We're assuming that. And they are also victims too. That's all I'm saying. They are victims. They don't have the privilege that you think. This is an emotional thing. The privilege is really emotional. It's not anything more than that. It's really not anything more than that, to me. There will be men that find certain types of women attractive and certain types not. The same thing with fat and skinny, light and dark, short hair, long hair, big butt, small butt. You know, people have their thing. They have their thing. There are many women who end up in relationships with men who the men said that, you know, the woman that they ended up with was not his type. Like he preferred taller women, or he preferred big leg women, or he preferred straight hair women, or something like that. And they wind up being together and having a long, happy relationship. Sometimes that happens. Anything can happen. You know, anything can happen. But everybody comes with their shit. Everybody comes with this stuff. Everybody on this live has a certain type that you are turned off by, that you feel is beneath you. You know, and it may not be politically correct to air that or to state that, because you want to seem like you're a good person, like you're an upstanding good person, morally correct at all times. You don't mistreat or take advantage of any opportunities that come your way. You're just a good person, and that's a lie. That's a lie too. Yada says, so we agree black men are assholes? Oh man. Music's Man said light-skinned women are overrated. There's nothing like a dark-skinned chocolate sister. Oh Lord, it's like I don't know. I don't know. I guess, we're all from different tribes, I guess. I do feel that. And you look at features on different people, you can tell that each person is from a different tribe. And maybe that's why we have such divisive tendencies. Maybe it is like innate biological tribal bloodline thing. And because we're here in North America, nobody really knows their true roots and their bloodline. So, we're just mixing ourselves up, and we're really looking for our tribe. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know. Adama says, but to not find your own attractive is not preference, it's self-hate. Let's stop ignoring the history and white supremacy of today exists. Hey, self-hate shows up in so many ways. So many ways. Not just who you fuck. Self-hate shows up long before you start screwing people. It's just that who you screw is just an outward representation sometimes of what you feel inside of yourself. But the self-hate thing was long before you hooked up with whoever you hooked up with. Miss P said, "Oh lordy, lordy, I think it's okay to have a preference, but not a fucking caste system." Hey, in a perfect world, that's how it would be, right? That's how it would be. Kelly said, "What about economic privilege? What economic privilege are you talking about, Kelly? Who has light-skinned women have economic privilege? Is that what you're saying?" Maria said, "I'm brown, caramel complexion particularly, but my mom, aunts, grandma are light, and some dark thrown in there, in here and there. I know exactly how it goes." All right. All right. Uh-oh. Les said black males in their community is trash. Oh my gosh. Why can't we just get along? Like Rodney King say, why can't we all just get along? Why can't we just start a love movement? Good Lord, you guys. I'm trying to tell you that we're all in the same boat. We really are. We really are. When I see any sister, she's my sister. She is my sister. Whether she looks better than me, worse than me, she's my sister. And I think that's the way to answer this problem, is to look at it as a humanity thing rather than a competition thing. Like, you can't, no, there's no woman that can take food out of my mouth. And we're jealous of each other like we're taking food out of each other's mouths. And there's no way that can really happen. We don't trust one another. We don't really have friendships. We don't really have true blue friendships. And it's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate that we more than anything else, we're just losing our sense of humanity. We're being jaded all the way around the board. All the way around the board. Kiki says, you can't control who's attracted to you. Present your best self and focus on who does find you attractive. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's all that any of us, light, dark, green, whatever, that's all any of us can do, is concentrate on what finds value, who finds value in us. Because if a man doesn't find value in you and you try to convince him to find value in you, you're going to run into the short end of the stick, and you're going to wind up being exploited for your resources and whatever sex and whatever you have to offer. That's all that comes about from those things. So, to bring it on home, um, I'm going to ask that all of us really love and honor ourselves and the reflections of ourselves in, other Black people, women, in general here, because it's women, Black women that I'm talking about. We are reflections of each other. And to me, we could all be in such a better place if we honored and respected the value of each other. I know there are light-skinned women with wisdom to offer someone like me. And I know there are dark-skinned women like me who can offer wisdom to light-skinned women, because we are experiencing things from two sides of the coin. And we bring all of that wisdom together, we would be a force to be reckoned with. Everybody would eat. Everybody would eat. I said before on a video a while back that if housewives sat with the hoes and conferred degrees with one another, instead of thinking that you as a wife was better than the hoe, there'd be nothing that you couldn't get, because she'll show you the game and you will give her perspectives as a nurturer, as a wife, as a woman that was able to get wifed, and all of that. If you would confer with the wisdom that both of you have from each perspective, everybody will be well off. We are separated from each other because it diminishes our power. We are blocked from each other because we are more controlled when we are blocked from each other. When we see each other, our sisters, as enemies. If we really powwowed, like true sisterhood powwow for real, and drop dime and serious wisdom on every ear that wanted to hear, who could be played? What woman could ever get her heart broken again when she has eyes and ears, like a whole squad of eyes and ears protecting her, telling her the real, making sure the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and all of that? Her kids would be protected. We would never be without if there was a real, unadulterated sisterhood instead of this competition. But this is what we do. This is what we do. Miss P said, I'm dark skinned and I love my light skinned sisters. Listen, I love y'all too. I love y'all too. You guys bleed red just like me. You're bleeding red just like me. You have the same concerns and fears and wants just like me. We are not different. We're not different from each other. We're really not. So that's what I have to say on that. Music Man says, don't mean to interrupt. Before you go, I just want to say your paintings are beautiful. Are they for sale? Yes, they are, Music Man. You can go to my website, iloveherart.com. It's an e-commerce website, so you can actually put your order in straight from the site. I will get the notification and prepare your painting to be shipped. So you can do all of that from iloveherart.com. And also, I have a life coaching page within that site. So if any of you ladies need private, one-on-one, feel good session, tough love session, whatever is needed to get your breakthrough, You can go to the life coaching page of iloveherart.com and sign up to talk to me privately. And yeah. Thank you, True Beauty. Thanks for coming on. I really felt compelled to do this because, we have these conversations about colorism and it just ends with everyone hating each other. It just, even if I know a woman's conceited and feels like she's better than me, I don't have any hate for that because I know what all of that is. I know it's a sham. I know it's a game. I know it's a mask that we put on so that we feel less defensive and feel stronger out here. And we all got to put on a mask out here to deal with these devils, these wolves in sheep's clothing out here. So I understand that. But I'm telling you, ladies, there's always a backstory. There's always the backstory. So I'm asking you, I'm really begging you to please don't judge things face value. Try to get to know people. If you're around them long enough, get to know the story, and you'll see. You'll see for yourself. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know. I don't know anybody else's background or where they're coming from, but I have talked to women all my life, on a professional level, all of my life. I've been consulting, coaching, counseling, trying to heal people for many, many years. This is not today. Some of you just found me today. But my channel goes back to 2008, I believe. And I stopped for a couple of years, and now I'm kicking it back on again. But this is not new for me. This is not new. This is my assignment and my mission. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. So, Alchemist said colorism construct is a Jedi mind trick. All of it. All of it is. Thank you, Miss P. Please do that and spread the word. I'm here. There's room for everybody. Let people know about me. If you resonate with what I'm saying, that's great. And if you don't, what can I do about it? That's great too. That's great too. I can only speak what I feel is true and what I feel needs to be said. So not dismissing our story. I'm not refuting that we don't have a story as dark-skinned women. And I have to end by saying that. I'm aware of it because I have my own. I'm not saying this as a light-skinned woman. I'm telling you this as a dark-skinned woman with her own stories, that I'm not dismissive of it. I understand there's something more to it. That is all. And the more is, to me, what really matters. To me, that's what really counts. We gotta start respecting each other. We gotta stop this because the competition goes nowhere. You just got a little more meat on the bone you're given than I do, and you think you're better than me? How do you have privilege when you have your hand out like me? What privilege do you have when you have no control? A light-skinned woman has no more control over her life than a dark-skinned woman. That's what you need to know. She has no more control over how her life plays out than any other woman. We're all hoping for the best. All of us. And that's the point. So that's it. That's it. So I'm sending love to everyone here. And I want you guys to know how much I appreciate the interaction. I appreciate the support. It's good to not be talking to myself and to know that I'm reaching people and that I'm really serving my purpose, because it's good for me to know, because this keeps me doing what I'm doing here too. And as you go throughout this week, I want you to think of yourself as an island unto yourself. Think of yourself. When they say no man is an island, I disagree. Think of yourself as an island. You're the ruler of that island. You are the star player in your show. There is no co-stars. There's no supporting cast. You are the star player of your show, and walk in that truth. Walk in that truth and understand that whatever you're going through, somebody else probably is too. Don't assume that because a woman's beautiful that she has no failure in her life, that she has no drama in her life, that she's even mentally stable. Stop assuming these things, because I'm telling you that you are wrong. I'm telling you this as a woman who talks from the darkness. I'm the spook that sits behind the door that nobody sees. And I get to see all the all the darkness and the dark side of people that they don't want to reveal to anybody else. They reveal it to me. They reveal it to me. So with that said, I'm out. Please like the video. Let me get some thumbs up, and before I go, a couple of thumbs up would be great. And let's spread the love. All right, peace.